Hello and welcome. Before we begin, I invite you to make yourself as comfortable as possible. Find a cozy position, allow your body to settle, and if you can, dim the lights around you so the atmosphere feels calm and restful. I'd love to know more about you, so when you're able, please write in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is for you. It's always fascinating to see how far these videos can travel, and I'm genuinely curious about the places and times where you join me. If you find this video soothing, please remember to like it and subscribe. That sync collection helps the video reach others who might also need some rest tonight. My true wish is that you don't make it to the end of this video, because somewhere along the way, you drifted off into peaceful sleep. That would be the best outcome of all. And if there are other topics you'd like me to create future videos about, please feel free to suggest them in the comments. I want this space to be one where you feel listened to and cared for. Now, let's begin. You wake up to the faint warmth of sunlight, thin and pale, as it slides across the velvet curtains of your chamber. For a brief moment, you pretend you do not hear the soft rustle of skirts, the whisper of slippers across polished stone. But you cannot ignore it for long. The chambermaids are already busy, tugging open the draperies with eager hands, letting the golden rays spill across your bed. The air feels sharp against your skin, and you bury your face into the pillow, as if it were any other morning. But it is not. Today is today you marry the King of France. Today, you stop being simply Mary Tudor, sister of Henry, daughter of England. Today, you will be the French Queen. Your Grace, the water is ready, murmurs a maid. She curtsies low, waiting. You lift yourself slowly, feeling the weight of the embroidered sheets slide away. As your feet touch the cold floor, another maid rushes forward to slippers upon them, soft velvet lined with fur. You feel their eyes upon you, not with judgment, but with a sort of reverent business. You are their task today, their great offering to the world of courts and kings. The basin of water ripples faintly as your hands sink into it. The coolness wakes you fully. A cloth is pressed into your hand, though another maid hovers close, ready to wipe your arms for you. Already, the line between yourself and your freedom feels blurred. You are not alone in any motion. Everything you do today will be observed, guided, adjusted. They help you dress, not in the gown of a bride just yet. That comes later. But in the underlayers that feel like armor engage both. Chemise, corset, silken hose. Each garment is pulled taut, tied firm, fastened so securely that it feels less like clothing and more like a costume you are required to play a part in. You stare at yourself in the polished silver mirror and barely recognize the girl beneath the layers. The room grows warmer as more attendants enter. Ladies of your household bring jewels, your brother's chosen gifts for this day, a string of pearls, a sapphire cross. They are heavy as they settle against your skin, reminders of England's weight still clinging to you. A French maid approaches, carrying a small vial of perfume. The fragrance sharp and unfamiliar. She dabs it on your wrists. You catch the faintest flicker of her smirk. Already, she knows that from this day forward, your life will be shaped more by France than by England. The hours roll onward, heavy with preparation. At last, the moment arrives. The gown is brought forward. Yards of satin, stiff embroidery, sleeves like banners, a train so long it will require 3 women to carry it. You stand still, arms outstretched, as if you are a statue being draped. They lower the gown onto your shoulders, smoothing it down, tugging it into place. The crown of orange blossoms is set upon your head. Its fragrance, sweet, but clawing. When you finally step into the corridor, you feel taller, heavier, and not entirely yourself. The rustle of your gown follows you like a tide, while the murmurs of courtiers echo faintly. You catch their stares, curious, appraising, calculating. Every glance feels like a judgment, though each smile is painted as if in celebration. The church bells ring. The procession begins. The long walk down the nave stretches before you, each footstep echoing beneath vaulted ceilings. Your heart races, though your face must remain composed. The eyes of hundreds are upon you. Nobles of France, dignitaries from England, priests and bishops, all waiting for this union to be sealed. Louis awaits you at the altar. He is not young, not a gallant prince of fairy stories. His back is stiff with age, his face lined with years. Yet, he smiles at you, thinly, almost kindly. A king's smile, not a husband's. The words are spoken, prayers intoned. You bow your head, repeating the vows you were trained to remember. The weight of the crown presses harder with each word. Hands place yours into his. The gesture feels less like a joining of 2 souls, and more like a contract signed in silence. And when it is done, when you are no longer Mary Tudor of England, but Mary, Queen of France, the cheers rise around you like thunder. You force yourself to smile, to wave with the delicate precision expected of a queen. And though the crowd roars, though bells ring and banners flutter, You feel a knowing tightness in your chest, for you know this is not the end of the ceremony. This is only the beginning, because the true ritual, the one all France whispers of, has yet to come. You are guided from the cathedral into the great hall of Abbeville, your heavy gown trailing, the crown on your head pressing down with a weight far beyond its gold. The air is alive with sound, the scrape of chairs, the booming laughter of nobles, and the clatter of goblets. Long tables stretch down the hall, draped in linen, glittering with silver platters and golden candlesticks. Torches sputter against the stone walls, throwing shadows that leap like dancers. Louis, your husband, your king, sits beside you. He is older, much older, his hands veined, his body worn from years of rule. Yet here he smiles broadly, perhaps to reassure the watching court. Around you, dukes and bishops, counts and courtiers chatter in French, too quick for you to catch every word. They raise cups of wine. They cheer your name. Viva la reine d'Angleterre. Viva la France. Before you, dishes arrive in endless procession. A roasted swan, its feathers gilded and reattached to its body so that it looks alive, its beak open as if in song. Platters of spiced venison, roasted peacocks with tails fanned wide, almond tarts glazed until they glisten like jewels. Musicians play lutes and shawms in the gallery above, and the high voices of choir boys float down like birdsong, mingling with the noise of knives on trencher and goblets striking the tables. You take small bites, go your stomach nuts with an ease. To your right sits Anne of Britain's daughter, Claude, now Queen of France, who watches you with soft, curious eyes. On the other side, Francois, Duke of Angoulême, the man who will soon be king after Louis, leans forward with an easy, wolfish grin. His presence unsettles you. He speaks boldly, jokes loudly, and more than once he raises his goblet in your direction with a look that lingers too long. At the far end of the hall, Bishop Thomas Walsing, who escorted you from England, nods gravely as though to assure you that you are still, in some part, tethered to your homeland. But Wilsey, too, is watching closely, calculating, as if already measuring how your night will be spoken of in courts, from London to Rome. The toasts begin. The Duke of Bourbon stands, his voice echoing, and wishes you many sons, strong as lions. Laughter follows, rough and knowing. Then another noble shall suggest about the king's vigor. At his age, can he still plant seed? The laughter grows louder, ribald. You lower your eyes, your cheeks hot, but you cannot shut out the sound. Each jest reminds you of what lies ahead, and that this feast is but a prelude to your most public trial. The hall grows hotter as wine flows freely. Jesters tumble across the floor, their bells jingling as they mock and tease. One, dressed half in red, half in blue, leaps before you and sings a crude rhyme about the bridal bed. The court roars with laughter. You force a smile, though your throat is dry. You feel small, even in your heavy brocade. That's all the whole room watches you, with a single thought. Hours pass in the storm of food, wine, and noise. You begin to lose track of time, lulled into a haze by the music, the torches, the countless faces tuned toward you. You reach for your goblet and find it full again, though you cannot remember drinking. And then the hall quiets. The signal is subtle, a nod from the king's steward, a shifting of servants. But you feel the change immediately. The moment has come. No more toasts, no more gestures. A strange hush falls, though it is thick with anticipation. Around you, nobles rise from their benches. Chairs scrape back across the floor. Francois grins again. Queen Claude lowers her eyes. Bishop Wolsey crosses himself. Your hand trembles slightly as you rise. The feast is over. Now begins the part that you have dreaded all day. The procession to the bridal chamber, where your private self will be no longer your own. The moment the steward announces the end of the feast, a ripple of anticipation runs through the hall. Candles flare. Goblets are set down, and the air shifts from celebration to something more pointed, more eager. Your heart pounds. You wish you could vanish into the stone floor, hide behind your chair, but already the eyes of friends are on you. The master of ceremonies claps his hands, and attendants rush forward with great candlesticks. The torches are relit. The hall grows brighter, and the musicians strike a bold, playful tune. Laughter erupts again, but it is different now. Sharper, knowing, mocking in its cheer. The Duke of Bourbon calls out, "To the bridal chamber," and the crowd takes up the cry. Louis rises slowly beside you, his years showing as he leans on the arm of a page. He smiles broadly, proud, even flushed with the heat of wine and triumph. He gestures for you to stand, and though your knees are weak, you obey. The weight of your gown seems doubled, your crown pressing down as if to fix you in place. But there is no escape. Hands guide you forward, and suddenly you are walking. No, paraded through the crowded hall. They line the way before you, nobles and clergy, courtiers and servants, all craning to see, to laugh, to cheer. The music quickens, and someone begins to sing a body ballad. His voice, loud and clear. To bed, the bride must go. To plant the seed, the air must grow. The hall roars with laughter. Your cheeks burn. Your eyes sting. But you must walk. Each step measured. Graceful, though your insides twist with dread. The corridor beyond the hall is long and torchlit, but it offers no privacy. The procession continues, louder now, as if the very walls echo the court's hunger for spectacle. Bishops mutter blessings as though sanctifying your steps, while behind you, the younger courtiers sing songs too coarse to be translated. Women giggle openly. Men call out chests, and everywhere there are eyes, watching, judging, savoring your shame. You think of England, of the quiet, solemn ways you were taught, the dignity of ceremony, the guarded reserve. A bride there would be led softly to her chamber, her attendants discreet. But here in France, it is a parade. They delight in stripping away your modesty, your silence, your English restraint. At one point, a jester in motley cap leaps before you, brandishing a pillow as if it were a heraldic banner. A pillow for the royal bed, he shouts, prancing to the delights of the crowd. They howl with laughter, slapping their tables and stamping their feet. Someone else thrusts forward a flask of wine, bowling that the king will need his strength tonight. The laughter grows, echoing down the corridor. You lower your eyes, but it makes no difference. You cannot hide from their voices, from their laughter, from their gaze. Louis seems unaffected, smiling faintly, nodding as though this is all perfectly natural, which, to him, it is. He has lived his life in this court, steeped in its traditions. To him, this spectacle is expected, even necessary. To you, it is unbearable. You walk as if in a dream, your body moving forward, though your mind longs to turn and flee. At last, the procession reaches the great doors of the bridal chamber. They are tall and carved with lilies, the symbol of France, gleaming in the torchlight. Before them stands François, Duke of Angoulême, his screen wide, his eyes gleaming with amusement. He bows with exaggerated flourish, then steps aside, gesturing toward the chamber as though offering you to the door itself. His gaze lingers too long, bold and insolent, and you feel another flush of shame creep into your cheeks. The door creaks open. The chamber beyond glows with candlelight. The bed, vast and canopied in gold and crimson. Perfume hangs in the air, heavy, almost suffocating. The crowd surges forward again, pressing in, eager not to miss a moment. You are guided inside, your steps faltering. There is no intimacy here, no privacy, only spectacle, The master of ceremonies clears his throat, and silence falls. The charged silence of anticipation. Now begins the ritual of undressing. Your heart leaps into your throat. In England, such a moment would be private, attended only by your most trusted ladies. But here in France, it is public, a performance for the court. The ladies of honor approach, their hands quick and practiced. They unfasten the first clasp of your gown, and a murmur rises from the watching crowd. Another clasp, another ribbon pulled free, piece by piece, layer by layer, they strip you of your finery while the court watches. Their laughter muted now, replaced by murmurs, whispers, the sound of eager breath. You keep your eyes fixed on the floor, but you feel every gaze like a weight upon your skin. A voice, you do not know whose, calls out a jest about the embroidery. Another about how many layers you wear. Another about what they will see when the last one is gone. The laughter returns sharper, crueler. You stand motionless, burning with shame, wishing only to sink into the floor. Louis is undressed as well, though not with the same ceremony. His attendants strip him quickly, efficiently, as though it were no more than preparing him for a bath. There are no jeers at his expense, no jests at his body. All the laughter, all the spectacle is reserved for you. At last, the final layer is removed, and you are left in your shift, thin linen, offering little comfort. The ladies draw the bed curtains aside, and you are led within. The crowd claps. Some laugh, some cheer. A bishop mutters another blessing, drowned out by the noise. The curtains are pulled closed, but you can still hear them, still feel them outside, waiting, listening. You lie stiffly on the bed, the air thick with perfume, and laughter seeping through the curtains. Your cheeks burn, your heart races. There is no silence, no privacy, only the weight of the court pressing in, their eyes, their voices, their judgment. And this is only the beginning. In England, a bride would have been led quietly to her chamber. The door would close, leaving only her closest attendants, discreet and silent. A maid, perhaps two, would carefully unlace her gown, fold it away, and prepare her for bed. There would be dignity in it, privacy, at least a semblance of respect. But you are not in England. You are in France, and France delights in making what is private into public theater. The great bedchamber glows with hundreds of candles, each one reflected in gilded mirrors and polished bronze. The bed, vast and canopied in crimson velvet, waits like a stage, the center of attention. Nobles crowd into the room, pressing shoulders to shoulder, their jewels catching the firelight. their faces bright with curiosity and amusement. Ladies whisper behind their fans. Men nudge one another with knowing grins. The musicians in the gallery play a lilting tune, mocking in its gaiety. You stand in the middle of it all, trembling in your heavy gown. The air is hot, thick with perfume and torch smoke, but your skin prickles as though with cold. Your crown gleams to your head, but it feels useless now, a fragile ornament offering no protection. Every eye is upon you. A lady of honor approaches, not gently, not privately, but ceremoniously. She places her hands on the first glass of your gown, her movements slow and deliberate, as though inviting the court to savor each second. With a tug, the clasp is loosed, and a murmur ripples through the crowd. Another lady steps forward, loosening the next ribbon, and more whispers flow, soft laughter bubbling here and there. Layer by layer, they strip away your dignity. The gown that had taken hours to fasten in the morning now comes undone in minutes. But each moment stretches endlessly. A jeweled pin is pulled from your sleeve, and someone comments on its beauty. English work, a voice murmurs, and then another replies, soon to be French. Laughter ripples through the chamber. As your outer gown falls away, revealing the fine girdle beneath, the ladies fuss and giggle as though you were a child being dressed, not a queen being undressed. One lady exclaims over the embroidery. Another teases about how many layers you wear. A man's voice, bold, shameless, calls out, "How many more before we reach the bride herself?" The chamber erupts in laughter. You keep your eyes fixed on the floor. Your cheeks blaze. Your throat is dry. Every movement of their hands feels like fire against your skin, though they only tug at ribbons and buttons. You long to vanish, to disappear into the floor, to wake and find this a nightmare. But no, this is real, and the court delights in your humiliation. The curtain is drawn away, leaving you in your petticoat. The silk clings to you, thin, revealing the curve of your figure more plainly. The whispers grow louder now, the laughter sharper. You hear the rustle of skirts, the scrape of boots as the courtiers lean forward for a better look. The bishop coughs into his sleeve, but does not speak against the ritual. Even he accepts it. Another layer is removed, and now you stand in only your shift, the fine linen nearly translucent in the candlelight. Gasps rise from the crowd, followed by giggles. You clutch at the fabric instinctively, but the ladies chide you gently, tugging your hands away, forcing you to stand still. It is custom, one whispers in your ear, as though that makes it less unbearable. Louis is undressed as well, though the treatment is not the same. His attendants work quickly, efficiently, their hands practiced. There is no spectacle in his disrobing, no laughter, no commentary. He is the king, and his dignity is preserved. You, however, are the entertainment. Every ribbon undone, every layer stripped, is a jest at your expense. When at last the final ties are loosened, you are left in nothing but a thin shift, bare feet against the cold stone floor. The linen brushes your skin like a whisper, offering little comfort, little concealment. The air presses against you, heavy and hot, and you feel utterly exposed. The crowd claps and cheers as though your humiliation were a triumph. A jester capers forward, tossing a garland of flowers at your feet, crying out, "The bride is ready for her garden." The hall roars with laughter. You stand motionless, your cheeks aflame, your eyes fixed on the floor, wishing only for the curtains of the great bed to close around you. At last, the ladies guide you toward the bed. They draw back the velvet hangings, revealing sheets of fine white linen embroidered with golden fleur-de-lis. You are helped inside, tucked beneath the covers as though you were a child, though you feel anything but sheltered. The crowd claps again, calling out blessings, jokes, prayers, and crude rhymes. Louis follows, slower, his body weary, but smiling still. He climbs into the bed beside you, and the chamber erupts with one final cheer. The bishop mumbles a blessing, nearly lost in the noise, and then, mercifully, the curtains are drawn. Yet even then, there is no true privacy. The laughter lingers outside, muffled but present. You know they wait beyond the velvet, listening, whispering, eager for every sound, every movement. The bed feels less like a sanctuary and more like a stage, the performance not yet done. You lie stiffly, the linen sheets cool against your skin, the heat of humiliation still burning in your cheeks. You close your eyes and try to breathe, but the noise beyond the curtains reminds you, your night is not your own. It belongs to France, to the court, to every watching eye and listening ear. And there is no escape. The curtains are drawn back again. You had dared to hope, in those few heartbeats of darkness, that the ritual was finished, that you might at last be spared the gaze of the court. But no. A rustle of movement, a surge of laughter, the scrape of boots on polished stone. They are not leaving. They are coming closer. The great chamber is still crowded, hot with torchlights and breath, heavy with perfume and sweat. The courtiers press forward eagerly, forming a semicircle around the bed, as if attending a play. Their jewels glitter, their eyes gleam, their mouths curve in knowing smirks. The air hums with anticipation. The bishop steps forward, solemn despite the noise. He raises his hand, murmuring a prayer over you both. invoking fruitfulness, obedience, and the blessings of heirs. His voice is drowned at times by laughter, by a jest shouted from the back, by a shrill giggle. You hear the words increase and multiply, and your stomach twists. The women of the French court flutter around you, tugging at your pillows, smoothing the sheets, flocking at the lean end as though this were some domestic play. They murmur to one another, loud enough for you to hear, about how pale you are, how tightly you clutch the covers, how English you look. One even comments on your hands, so tense upon the linen, saying, "See how she trembles. The dove knows she is caged." The men are worse. They laugh openly, their voices coarse. One calls out to the king, "Be quick, sire," and she will escape beneath the sheets. Another shouts back, "No fear, he is French." The chamber erupts with guffaws. Even Louis smiles faintly, though you cannot tell whether in pride or in embarrassment. You wish the floor would open and swallow you whole. The attendants do not let you hide. They pluck at the coverlet, lowering it from your shoulders to your waist, so the company may see the union begin. Your thin linen shift offers no real protection. A candlelight passes through it, revealing far more than you would ever wish. Heat floods your face, your throat, your chest. You turn your head to the side, staring fixedly as they embroidered floridly on the bed curtains, as though the stitches might rescue you. The bishop mumbles another prayer, making the sign of the cross above you both. "May this bed be fruitful," he says, his voice nearly drowned by sneakering. Someone repeats the word fruitful in a low tone, and the company bursts into laughter again. At last, Louis shifts beside you, taking his place under the covers. The bed dips with his weight. His attendants fuss with the hangings, tucking them in, as though securing the stage for its final act. You feel the king's arm, heavy and warm, settle against yours. You do not dare to move. The courtiers clap, some stamping their feet, others chanting crude rhymes. A lady tosses rose petals over the bed, the fragrance sharp and cloying. A man lifts a goblet, toasting loudly, "To the royal labor, may the child be strong and soon." The rest cheer, lifting their own cups. Wine spills, laughter roars, the noise a tempest all around you. Still, they do not leave. They linger, staring, laughing, commenting, as though waiting for the miracle to begin before their very eyes. You hear one man whisper, "It begins tonight. Perhaps by morning, France will have its heir." Another answers, "If the English rose proves fertile." More laughter, more clinking of goblets. At last, mercifully, the king's chamberlain steps forward, raising his hands for silence. His voice carries above the din. Enough, my lords and ladies. Their majesties must rest. A groan rises from the crowd, a disappointed sigh, like children denied the end of a tale. Still, the chamberlain insists, clapping his hands, shepherding them back. Slowly, reluctantly, they retreat. The rustle of silks and the stumps of boots fade toward the door. Yet, even as they depart, they call back parting jests. Good luck, sire. Courage, madame. Don't be shy. The door closes only after the last echo of laughter. At last, the chamber is quieter. Quieter, but not silent. For you know the attendants remain outside the door, waiting, listening. You know the court expects a report, proof, whispers carried through the palace before dawn. The heavy curtains enclose you, but they cannot shut out that truth. The bed does not feel private. It feels like a stage where the audience has only drawn back, waiting for the next act. You lie still, your body taut with dread, your face burning with the memory of so many eyes. You think of England, of the quiet dignity that might have been yours. Instead, here you are, put to bed like a child, displayed like a prize, reduced to a spectacle for the delight of strangers. The candles gutter. The heat of the room presses down. And beside you, Louis shifts again, turning toward you at last. The ceremony is over. The night, the long, dreaded night, is only just beginning. The chamber is quiet now, too quiet. The door had closed. The last laugh faded. Yet you know they linger beyond the threshold. The court is never truly absent. You can almost feel their ears pressed to the wood, waiting. The heavy curtains of the bed enclose you in suffocating velvet. The air inside is thick with candle smoke and the faint, lingering perfume of rose petals. You pull the sheet higher, wishing it might shield you, not only from the king beside you, but from all of France. Louis shifts, his breathing steady, his body close. He is not unkind, no, not cruel, but he is older, much older, and heavy with wine. His breath is sour, his hands slow and deliberate. He is a king, accustomed to obedience. Yet tonight, even he seems uneasy. You realize, even a king is not free of this ritual. His performance is judged as surely as yours. He murmurs a few words in French, too soft for you to catch. His hand finds yours beneath the sheet. Your throat tightens. You think of your ladies in England, who would never imagine such a scene. Their princess forced to endure the gaze of an entire court before this moment, then thrust into the silence of expectation. The silence itself is a torment. You can hear the crackle of the last candles, the faint shuffle beyond the door, your own breath too loud in your ears. You try not to think of what the morning will bring. The chambermaids rushing in, the chamberlain demanding to see the sheets. You have heard the whispers. If they are blooded, the court will cheer. France will rejoice. If not, shame, suspicion, endless rumors that you are barren, or unwilling, or worse. The bed feels less like a place of rest than a stage. Every movement, every sound is evidence. You lie rigid, your face turned away, staring into the shadows of the hangings. Yet the more you try to still yourself, the more you feel your heart hammering in your chest, your body betraying you. Louis presses closer. His hands fumble, clumsy but insistent. You hear him sigh. With effort? With impatience? You cannot tell. You want to vanish into the mattress, to sink into the earth. Instead, you endure, cheeks burning, mind racing with every shameful detail of the day. Time stretches unbearably. Minutes feel like hours. The act itself, awkward, slow, graceless, feels less like a joining than a task, a duty performed under invisible eyes. You know he must succeed. He knows it too. Neither of you can escape the weight of that knowledge. The union is not yours alone. It belongs to France, to England, to every watching courtier. At last, it is finished. Louis rolls onto his back, sighing heavily. His breath evens out, his body sinking into sleep almost at once. You lie beside him, wide awake, staring at the canopy above. The linen clings to your skin, damp with sweat. Your hands grip the sheet, dreading the dawn. For you know it will not be private. As sunrise, they will come. The chambermaids, the chamberlain, the bishop, perhaps, all eager to see the proof. The sheets will be lifted, displayed, whispered over the corridors, paraded like a banner of victory. Your body is no longer your own. It has been made into evidence, into a document to be inspected. The thought makes your stomach twist. You close your eyes, willing yourself to drift into sleep. But rest does not come. The weight of the ritual presses too heavily upon you. The long, arduous night drags on. Every creak of the bed, every murmur from the corridor beyond the door, keeps you awake. You do not know whether you dread the footsteps of dawn or long for them, only that you will face them, cheeks burning, because there is no choice. The French court has claimed you, and in the morning, the proof will be theirs. A pale gray light filters through the velvet curtains when you open your eyes. For a moment, you almost believe you are back in England. The quiet of dawn, the stillness of your chamber. But then you hear it, the unmistakable shuffle of footsteps beyond the door, a murmur of voices, the scrape of boots on stone. The ritual is not over. Louis still sleeps beside you, his breath slow, heavy with wine. You lie perfectly still, dreading the sound that comes next. A knock, polite but insistent. Then another, and before you can gather your wits, the door swings open. They enter. First, the chambermaids, brisk and purposeful, carrying basins of water and armfuls of linen. Then, the chamberlain, tall and severe, followed by a cluster of noble ladies, each eager to peer at the evidence. You clutch the sheet to your chest, cheeks burning, as the chamber fills with their voices, too loud, too cheerful for so early an hour. The chamberlain clears his throat. All eyes turn to the bed. Your heart pounds as a maid steps forward. With practiced hands, she lifts the sheets, folding them back with exaggerated care. For a moment, silence falls. Then a rustle of approval. Whispers, nods, satisfied smiles. The linen is carried toward the light, displayed like a banner. You hear the hiss of gossip already spreading. Hurry down the corridor. Through the great halls of the chateau. France will know within the hour. You squeeze your eyes shut, wishing you could vanish into the mattress, but there is no escape. Hands tug at you, firm but not unkind, pulling you from the bed. The floor is icy beneath your bare feet. You stand, trembling as the chambermaids descend. The basins are set before you, the cloth wrung out. Cool water splashes against your skin. They wash you as though you were a child, brisk and efficient, their chatter filling the room. You want to shrink away, but you are still the focus, still the proof, still the bride who has become France's queen. A gown is brought forward, heavy with embroidery, its weight a reminder of the role you now bear. Layer by layer, they dress you. Chemise, kirtle, gown, jeweled mantle, each clasp fastened, each ribbon tied, as noble women whisper and giggle, recalling the night just past. They do not laugh at you openly, but you feel it in every glance, every knowing smile. Louis steers at last, sitting up with a groan. His attendants gather around, offering wine, helping him to his feet, dressing him in his robes. He accepts their fussing with ease, unconcerned by the invasion. You envy his calm, his indifference. For him, the ritual is duty fulfilled. For you, it is humiliation endured. At last, you are ready. The chamberlain nods. The door is thrown wide. Outside, the corridor is crowded with courtiers. They cheer as you appear, their voices echoing through the halls. Some bow deeply, others cry. How few cry out blessings. The sheets have already been displayed, the proof delivered. To them, you are no longer a princess of England. You are the Queen of France. and last night's ordeal is their triumph. You force a smile, though your cheeks burn. Your hands are steady, though your heart trembles. You walk forward, every eye upon you, every whisper trailing in your wake. The morning has come. The ritual is complete.